Today we're going to be talking about the best football tips for beginners. Now, if you're new to football, obviously conditioning is a big part of the game, but you have to be in the right football conditioning or football shape. One of the biggest mistakes that beginners to football will make is they think that, running a bunch of miles at a time, laps around a track out there for maybe 30, 40 minutes, an hour, whatever, is how they get in shape and will prepare them for football. And that's not the case, you guys. You have to think about the way football is played. I'm assuming if you're a beginner, you obviously know how the game is played a little bit. And so the ball is snapped, right? On every single football play, ball is snapped, and no matter what position you were playing, you were trying to exert all-out effort. You were trying to explode. Let's say you're a receiver, you're trying to run your route as fast as you can, catch the ball, turn up as fast as you can. You were trying to be explosive. So running laps around a track is not going to get you in football shape because that's working on something called a slow twitch muscle fiber. Football players, or athletes just in general, have two types of muscle fibers. You have slow twitch fibers and fast twitch fibers. Slow twitch fibers are what you use when you're just jogging around because it's very slow twitch and you're not depleting yourself right away and exerting all-out effort. Fast twitch muscle fibers are when you exert all-out effort, like a sprint. So to get in football shape and to get in the right football conditioning, you have to run sprints. I recommend 2 to 3 times a week, you guys, you should do some type of sprint routine. I remember I used to do 10 40s, and it would take me maybe 20 minutes to do, but that's better for you than running laps around a track because that's how your actual sport is played, and that's how you can get in shape and be prepared for the football season. Also, fellas, if you are a quarterback or wide receiver watching this and you would like to come out to one of our off-season training camps that I myself will be hosting with my staff of coaches, we'll be traveling out to 15 different locations across the U.S. So check out that very first link in the description below if you guys would like to attend. We're going to be coming out to San Francisco, California. That camp literally, guys, has 2 spots remaining, so if you're local to there, make sure you sign up. Then we'll be coming out to Orlando, Florida. That has about 5 spots remaining. Then we'll be coming out to Phoenix, Arizona, Charlotte, North Carolina, Austin, Texas, Seattle, Washington, Las Vegas, Nevada, Chicago, Illinois, Newark, New Jersey, Houston, Texas, Birmingham, Alabama. Then we'll be coming out to Boston, Massachusetts, Columbus, Ohio, Boise, Idaho, and finishing off our 15-state tour in Los Angeles, California. So guys, want some more information? Check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you there. Now, if you're a beginner to football, you may have not been super well versed or have a lot of experience with contact, playing tackle football. So let's say your first year of football is this upcoming season, and let's say you've never played tackle football before. So there are a few things that you can do to help you prepare for that contact. Number one, or just prepare for the pads and the equipment in general. We're going to talk more about that as this video progresses. First things first, I recommend doing everything in the off-season when it comes to training drills, conditioning, with pads and with the helmet on. Or at least when you get to the spring year, maybe end of April, May, June, July, and then August is when you actually start pads and practice with your team. Leading up to that, you should be doing a ton of training with pads and a helmet on, just to get used to the feeling, because it is a little bit of weight that you have to get used to initially. Now, second thing, we talked about, contact. Obviously, let's say you're a quarterback and maybe you've played flag football, or maybe you just have never played football before. It takes a second to get used to having to throw and take a shot and get popped while you're throwing the ball. And it goes same thing for receivers. It takes a second to be able to catch the ball and take a hit over the middle or get tackled. So what you can do is literally, honestly, guys, let's use the quarterback example. You could throw simple routes. You need a partner for this. Have your partner hold a pillow, a blocking bag. Sometimes what I'll do with my quarterbacks is I'll get a pool noodle. I'll get a couple of them so it's a little bit harder of a hit. And you just drop back and you throw, but you have your partner hit you as you throw. And it's a blocking bag. It's not going to hurt you, obviously. It might be a little bit of a shock and you have to get used to it at first. But doing those types of things helps you get used to the contact. It's not such a shock when you put the pads on and you have to do that. You're not as hesitant and you could go play and go perform. So if you're a beginner, haven't played tackle football before, that is what you should do. Now, next thing I recommend if you're a beginner to football, or maybe it's your first year, you guys, is buy your own gear. I get it if you don't have the financial means to buy your own gear, maybe you can't afford it because gear is expensive. You get a nice helmet these days, it's going to run you maybe $300-400. Pair of shoulder pads is really nice, $200-300. So I get it, it's expensive. But the issue is and the great part about football, and this is why so many people can play football and maybe come from lower income areas, is that the gear is provided. The team that you're playing on, if it's a youth team, especially in high school, they provide the gear. So you'll get a helmet, you'll get pads, all you got to really do is get a pair of cleats, and sometimes they may even provide that for you. But the issue is that at a lot of places, it's not high quality. You're going to get a helmet that's, from the 1980s that probably isn't the safest helmet. You're going to be a quarterback or a skill position player, and you're going to get a pair of shoulder pads, and you're not going to have any mobility. And you don't want that to happen. You want to be completely comfortable when you are in your first year of tackle. So what I recommend is buying your own gear, and you could train with that gear on, obviously, to get more used to it, get more comfortable with it, and just your overall play is going to be more comfortable. If you guys want good recommendations on gear, I have tons of stuff. Just post in the comment section below. I respond to every single comment on every video, you guys, so just post in the comments below, and I'd be gladly to send you over the best gear that I recommend. Now, the next thing I will say, if you're a beginner football player, no matter what year you are, don't compare yourself to other players, because I think, like, let's say your first year of football is going to be in high school. You know, I get a ton of questions from athletes like, hey, my first year of tackle or my first year of football is in high school. Should I even try to play? Am I too far behind? And I don't believe that to be true, you guys. Plenty of people start football when they're in high school, 7th, 8th grade. Don't worry about that stuff. But where a lot of athletes go wrong is they compare themselves to dudes their age that have been playing football for like 4 to 5 years, maybe even longer than that. And that's going to discourage you, and that's going to make you think, oh, I'm never going to get to that level. Like, guys, every day at practice, every day when you're training, you should approach it with the mindset of, I'm just here to get better. I'm here to get 1% better, 1% better, 1% better. And if you keep stacking days like that, you're going to be surprised at how far your game can go. Because when you're brand new to something, you don't have a lot of bad habits because you haven't been playing the game long enough. A lot of guys who've been playing 4 to 5 years have been neglected by coaches, maybe not coached up on certain things. They have a lot of bad habits. You don't. So if you just focus in on learning things the right way, focus on getting 1% better, trust me, you guys, you're going to see a big jump in your game, and you will catch up to those other players in no time.